Hello students, welcome to NEET World. This is Narayani, I am your botany educator. So in previous class we discussed about the morphology of flowering plants. So we discussed the root modification, stem modification, and one more left out question is inflorescence. So let's discuss today's session. Before I am going to start the session, I would like to announce very important news here for you. So here we are started the NEET long term course for 2026 for class 11th, 12th and also repeaters. So what are the benefits by joining in this long term course for the BIPC students? It is available for both BIPC and also MPC students. For BIPC students for NEET and EAP set, and for the MPC people for JE mains and also EAP set. Not only that, so along with that our long term coaching, we are giving 5 entrance exam test coaching are free now. So for just rupees we are giving this long term for 11th, 12th and repeaters for online just for 3,333 per month. Yes, you heard it right. For live plus, what are the benefits you get? Live classes per recorded classes, well crafted study material is provided to you. If you dedicatedly attend the all sessions and do this well crafted study material, it's quite enough to crack your upcoming examinations of NEET and JE and EAP set for both BIPC and MPC people. And also one-on-one mentorship is provided. So whatever you have doubts, you can all clear out directly with us. And we are it is both offline also and online also. For offline people, you can come to our institute name called NEET World, present in Narayani, Hyderabad. Those who want to join through online, by contact with this number, then we will give you the all information about us. So and hostel facilities also available for girls and boys too. So we are giving this course for just rupees 3,333 per month. And for online people, if you have any other queries, please let me know by this number. If you are really passionate to you see yourself as a doctor, it is the best platform. So what are you waiting for? This is one of the best course we are offering and it is a limited offer for you. So this is about our important news, and now start the session now. See here. So we discussed in the morphology of flowering plants for the Junior Inter, we complete the root modification, stem modification, and now we are discussing about the Racemose inflorescence. It is the third essay from the morphology of flowering plants, right? So this is one of the most important chapter you have to be keep in mind to have to be studied. So out of root and stem, it will be quite repeatedly comes the question every time. But if in case if these two are not came in your examination, either root will come, either the stem will come. If it is by chance, if these two questions are not came, means the another question left out is inflorescence question. This will come. So we have to don't take the choice. We have to read all of 3. Then one question is in your pocket. Okay, let's see now. So before get to know about the types of Racemose inflorescence, we have to know about Racemose inflorescence, right? So what is meant by Racemose inflorescence? Actually, what is meant by inflorescence? So to get to know about that, first you have to know that, what is the attractive part of the plant? What is the attractive part of the plant? It's flower, right? What is the attractive part of the plant? It's flower. So flower is the attractive part of the plant because flower is a reproductive part of the plant, right? So what are the parts of the flower? These are the the colorful, that we call it as petals. We call it as petals. And here the petals are protecting by the sepals. The petals are protecting by the sepals. These are sepals. In your 10th standard also you know about the parts of the flower, right? So just I am remembering you students, these are sepals. Okay, these are sepals. The colored ones are petals and the protecting are the sepals. Why they are colorful? So what is the purpose? Is the flower having any economic importance? Of course is. So they are used in the preparation of perfumes. Not only that, for in our day-to-day life, the decoration purpose, rituals. So we mainly focus on the flowers. They all look like same. Not at all. They are different in colors and different in manner, different in arrangement, right? So now today we are discussing about the inflorescence, right? So inflorescence is nothing but arrangement of flowers. Arrangement of flowers. One minute. Arrangement of flowers. Arrangement of flowers on floral axis. On floral axis. So today we are knowing about the inflorescence and its types, okay, and there are two types of patterns are there in the inflorescence. One is racemose and another one is cymose. Before getting into that topic, we have to know about the parts of the flower. Okay, see here, this is the stalk of the flower, right? This is the stalk of the flower. This stalk we call it as pedicel. The flowers which are having the pedicel, we call it as pedicellate flowers. We call it as pedicellate flowers. We call it as pedicellate flowers. And if the pedicellate is not there, those flowers we call it as sessile flowers. We call it as sessile flowers. Sessile flowers. No pedicel in that flowers, which means there is no stalk for the flowers. We call them as sessile flowers. If they are having the pedicel, the stalk, we call it as pedicellate flowers. See here, if you see here, they are the leaf-like structures, small leaf-like structures. We call it as bracts. We call it as bracts. If the bracts are having, we call it as bracteate. If the bracts are there, we call it as ebracteate. We call it as ebracteate. Ebracteate. So while we studying the reproductive unit of the flower, then you know about very clearly about the whole parts of the flower. Okay. So now let's see the brief view of the parts of the flower. So the colored ones are the petals, and the petals are protected by the green which are attached down of the flower is called sepals, and the stalk we call it as pedicel. The flowers which are having the pedicel we call them as pedicellate flowers, and here in the pedicel it is attached with the bracts, means it is a bracteate pedicellate flower. Okay. So this is the outer view, which is this is the down view of the flower. Here see, this is the upper view of the flower. They are having the pistils, stamens, these are all reproductive units. While we learning about that reproductive unit of the flower, you can know about very clearly. So as you know, in the 10th standard also you already read about this. These are the filaments. These are the anthers. We call them as stamens. And this one is the pistil. Pistil containing stigma, style and ovary. Right. So now today we are learning about the inflorescence. See now. So inflorescence. What is meant by inflorescence? What is meant by inflorescence? Inflorescence is the arrangement of flowers. Arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. On the floral axis is when we at what point of time we see the flower in the plant. When we sow the seed, the flower will get arise. No, it takes some time, right? So when I sow the seed, it will not it will not arise flower. It takes some time. It takes some time to get rise the flower. So when I sow the seed, first what will happen? The roots will arise in the earth, right? So first the roots will come. So while we read the root modification, what I said, the roots are arised from the radicle. From the radicle. The root system arised from the radicle. And the shoot system arised from the shoot is arised from the plumule. It is erased from the plumule. From the radical, and shoot is erased from the plumule. Right? So here the nodes, the branches of leaves will erase. These are the nodes. Right? These are the nodes. These are the nodes. In the node and node in between, what we call, that is the space we call it as internode. So in between the node and one node to another node, the in between space we call it as internode, right? So the roots erased from the radical, which means the root system erased from the radical, and the shoot system erased from the plumule, right? Okay. So which is having, this root system is forming by the meristematic tissue which is present in the apical part of the root. That is why that the tip of the root we call it as root apical system. Root apical system. In that, shoot is also having that the tip, the growthing will be happen. This is nothing but the shoot apical system. Shoot apical system. This is SAM. This is RAM. Because the region it is containing the meristematic tissue. What is the main function of the meristematic tissue? This is a continuous division. It helps in the growth and development of the plant. Right? So now here where is the flower appears? In the root system or shoot system? In the shoot system the flower is erased. Right? So at point of time when the plant is able to give the flower, this shoot system forms the shoot system modifies, which means changes happen, which modifies to form floral meristem. Modifies to form floral meristem. Modifies to form floral meristem, which means flower is a modified shoot. Flower is a modified shoot. So once again I am saying to you, when we sow the seed, what the first raising of the plant, roots. It is the roots erases from the radical and shoot erases from the plumule, as we studied in the first essay and second essay also, in the root and stem. So when the growth is happening, what will happen at point of time when the plant is ready to give the flower? That shoot system modifies and it becomes the floral meristem, right? So it gives rise to the flower. So that is why flower is the modified shoot. Flower is the modified. So flower is the modified shoot. Flower is the modified shoot. So during flowering, what will happen? The shoot system gives rise to the floral meristem, which is modifies and forms the floral meristem. And also one more thing. So what I said to you, in the one node and in between the nodes, what we said, it is the internode, right? In flower, these internodes does not elongate. These internodes does not elongate. These internodes does not elongate. Their axis get condensed. What is the meaning of that? That axis get condensed. What is the meaning of the condensed? So here is this is the nodes. When the internode is not elongating, so when they become the condensed, which means they will come near, right? They become condensed, like this they will come. So when you see the flower, what you will see, you see the petals now. So these are the colored petals. They are erasing from the little more downwards also they reach to the same level, right? The petals are rising like this, which means the floral axis gives the petals in a order, arrangement is giving, right? That is why the internode does not elongate in the flower. The axis get condensed. So flower is the modified shoot. Okay. So now inflorescence. Inflorescence is the arrangement of flowers in the floral axis. Arrangement of flowers in the floral axis. So when we studying the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, there are of two types you have to study. One is racemose and another one is cymose. Let's see this. Let's see that. So there are two type of patterns are followed for the inflorescence. There are one is racemose and one is cymose inflorescence. When we see the racemose and cymose inflorescence, so we are having the essay on this racemose inflorescence. So we have to know about cymose also. See, here these round structures are representing the flowers. These are representing the flowers. These are the bracts. Okay. See, here the down flowers are, see, these are the big flowers, right? Which means they born already, right? So these are the young ones, because they are not at the right, they are not big flowers, which means they are in the bud condition, right? These are the young flowers. These are the big flowers which representing they are the old flowers, right? So which means the growth of the flowers are occurring from the base to apex region, because at the apex the young ones are there, young buds are there. In the down, in the base, they are having the big flowers, right? This is the racemose inflorescence. In this, there is no, here see, there is no flower, which means there is no stop of the growth. That is why racemose is the indefinite in growth. Indefinite in growth. Here see the cymose inflorescence. Here the flower is, the big one is at the top, right? Which means at the single flower at the top, which means the growth is limited. Here the growth is, the ones are in the down position. So here the growth refers from the apex region to the base. That is why cymose inflorescence represents the basipetal succession. Basipetal succession. Here the racemose inflorescence shows the acropetal succession. Okay. So here the old flowers are at the top and the young ones are the down, which means the growth refers from the apex region to the base. That is why cymose inflorescence represents the basipetal succession. Coming to the racemose inflorescence, it represents the growth refers from the base to the apex region, right? So the growth is from the base to apex, right? That is why it shows the acropetal succession. Got it? So now see. So now we are studying about the racemose inflorescence. So the question is very important for your examination of the IPE. So before get into the question, let's see the main difference between the racemose and cymose inflorescence. See, the main axis continues to grow. Here there is a continuation of the growth, because there is no flower at the tip, right? So if the flower at the tip, the growth is always limited. And if the flower is not at the tip, which means the growth is continuous, which means indefinite. Here in cymose inflorescence, the main axis terminates in a flower, which means the growth will not be at some point of time only, because it exhibiting the solitary inflorescence, right? So here see, the growth is unlimited. Of course, there is no at the top, at the tip there is no flower. Here there is showing of the racemose inflorescence showing the continuous growth. Coming to the cymose inflorescence, the growth is limited because the shoot is, the shoot modified into the single flower. If the flowers are erased also, they will erase from the lateral sides. Okay. The flowers born in a acropetal succession. Of course, the young ones are at the top, right? So, from the base to the apex region, the acropetal succession showing in the racemose inflorescence. The flowers are born on basipetal succession. Here the young ones are at the down position. That is why from the base the young ones are there. That is why it is also called as basipetal. It exhibits the basipetal succession. Coming to here, the group of flowers is less. There is no, we cannot see the, mostly we cannot see the group of flowers here, but the arrangement of flowers in a group is centrifugal, centripetal. What is meant by centripetal? See, if it is the flower. So, if you see the marigold flower, see, if these are all very small flowers will be there in the marigold. So, I am presenting by the balls like this. So, they said that the arrangement of flowers in a group in centripetal. What is meant by centripetal? The flowers are opening first in the periphery region, which means at the side regions. At the side regions the flowers are open. First the side regions the flowers are open, then the center flowers will open next. First opens the flowers is the side. The side flowers are open, which means the opening of the flowers from the side, from the periphery to the center, from the periphery region to the center. Here see in the cymose, the grouping of flower is more common. The grouping of flower is more common. Arrangement of flowers in a group centrifugal. What is meant by centrifugal? It is quite opposite to the centripetal. The flowers are opening in the centripetal from the periphery region to the center. While in the centrifugal, the flowers open from the center to the periphery region. Okay, got it? It's a quite opposite. Both are opposite. Here the group of flowers are open first at the periphery region to the center. Coming to the here cymose, the flowers open from the center to the periphery region. Here see the group of flowers is more common, which means we can see more group of flowers arrangement here, and the arrangement of flower is a group is centrifugal, which means the opening of the flowers in the group of flowers, that the first they opens the center flowers first, then it towards the periphery. First the central flowers are open, then it comes to the periphery region. So now we are studying the racemose inflorescence. So it is one of the very important question for the IPE students. So see here, explain different types of inflorescence of racemose. 1 minute, okay. Explain different types of racemose inflorescence, they asked. Inflorescence is what is meant by inflorescence? The arrangement of flowers on a floral axis, right? Flower is a modified shoot. Why it is modified shoot? When we sow the seed, it does not directly give rise to the flower. So it needs some time, right? So in the root apical meristem and shoot apical meristem, they are having the meristematic tissue. So for that only, by the meristematic activity only, the growth and development we can see in the plant, right? So when the plant is, by the meristematic activity, the plant is growing, the growth we can see. So at point of time when it is able to give the flower, the shoot system directly modified into flower, right? The shoot apical meristem directly modified into floral meristem. Then the the flowers will arise in a plant, right? So that having the arrangement, we see the different arrangement in different plants and different flowers. So the arrangements are quite different, right? So here see, now we are reading about, there are two types of patterns, as I said before. There are how many types? There are two types, racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Now we are studying about the racemose inflorescence. In racemose inflorescence, what is the main we have to remember in the entire while we studying the question? they are exhibiting the acropetal succession, which means the growth refers from the base to the apex region, right? The bud flowers are in the young ones are in the, at the top, right? They show the acropetal succession. They do not show the solitary flowers, right? So they are showing the acropetal succession, which means the young ones are at the top and the old flowers are at the down, right? So that succession we call it as racemose inflorescence, and they are also showing what they are showing. They are showing indefinite growth. The growth is indefinite. In Cymose, the growth is limited because the solitary flower is having. Okay. So now see the types of racemose inflorescence. So they are having the simple inflorescence and compound inflorescence. What is meant by simple and compound? Which means there is no complication, right? So in the compound means they are having, which means complex. They are like complex inflorescence. The arrangement is little complex than the simple. Okay. So see here. So in simple inflorescence, the flowers grow on the main peduncle. What is at the peduncle and pedicel? So if the stalk is having that stalk, if it is the flower, if it is having the stalk, that stalk we call it as, wait, I will show the very clear picture of it, then you may get understand. So see here. 1 minute. So see here. So if the flower having the stalk, then what we call that is a pedicel. So if the flower does not having the stalk, we call it as sessile, right? So here see is the pedicel, and the group of flowers are that having the peduncle, right? So that we call it as peduncle. In the simple inflorescence, the flowers directly arise from the peduncle. There is no pedicellate because they are the simple. They are not showing the group of flowers, right? So now see here. In simple, 1 minute. Inflorescence, all in the compound inflorescence, they are erased from the branches. In the simple inflorescence, they are directly erased from the peduncle. In the main axis, directly they came from the main axis. But in the compound inflorescence, they are not like that. Okay. See here. So the flowers grow on the main peduncle, which means main axis. This is the simple inflorescence, simple racemose inflorescence. In the compound inflorescence, the flowers grow on the branches, which means the flowers always grow on the branches. Here is that the flowers grow on the main peduncle, which means main axis, right? So all these, they have 6 types, those 6 types having the simple and also compound. See, first we will see the raceme. In raceme, the peduncle grows indefinitely. They showing here, see, the arrow mark showing it is the indefinite in growth. The arrow mark showing that it is a indefinite in growth, right? So see here, they are exhibiting the small flowers are at the top. So they are open flowers, which means the bud is opened already, which means it bud become flower, right? So that is why they are represented like this, open flowers. Here is representing the open flowers. Here is in the round they are the young ones, right? So it bears several pedicellate, which means here see, they are the leaf-like structures, what we call pedicellate. The leaf-like structures, what we call pedicellate. How they are represented, see here like this. So see here in the diagram of here also it is there. So these are the pedicellate, okay, and they are bracteate. Sorry, 1 minute. So these are the pedicel, okay, these are the pedicel, and these are the bracts. These are the bracts. So the flowers are having both pedicellate and bracteate, right? So that is why it bears pedicellate and bracteate flowers in acropetal succession, which means young ones are at the top and old flowers at the bottom, right? So the best example is Crotalaria. In the simple raceme, the example is Crotalaria, and the compound inflorescence, it is Mangifera, which means these raceme appears in the Mangifera indica, right? Which means the flowers are growing at the branches in the mango plant. Got it? So these are the bracts. Don't confuse. These are the bracts, and this stalk is the pedicel. Okay, let's see the next another type. Next one is corium. See, the peduncle is long here. See here, the peduncle is long, which means it bears many flowers at the same. See here, they are the same. However, they grow from the stalk is big. You know, the stalk is long. Of course, they are in the same level, right? Which means in corium the peduncle is long. This is the peduncle which is very long. Okay, these are very long. It bears many flowers in a acropetal manner. They are bearing many flowers in a acropetal manner, which means the buds are at the top and these are the old flowers. Okay, so the acropetal manner. All the flowers are brought at the same level. All the flowers are brought at the same level, even though they are born at different nodes. Even though they are born at different nodes. Here see, these are the old flowers. Even though they are born at the different nodes, they get at the same level, right? So here see, these are the old flowers. They are showing the acropetal manner, right? Here the example is cassia in simple corium, and cauliflower is the example of the compound corium. Okay, got it? Now see the next one, umbel. Umbel means umbrella. Okay, see here, here it is showing like umbrella like appearance, right? That is why it is a umbel inflorescence. In umbel, the peduncle is condensed. What is condensed? Which means see here, the bracts are all at the one point. That, you know, they are all at the one point. That we call it as involucre of bracts. Combined, they are combined at one point, right? So that we call it as involucre of bracts. And here the axis get condensed at the one point, and they are every flower is arising and showing the umbel like appearance. See here, in umbel the peduncle is condensed and all the flowers appear to have arisen from the same point. They are all arisen same point, not at the different points. And here they are from the different points. Here there is no different points. From the one point only the flowers are got arised, right? So see, all the flowers appears at rising from the same point of the peduncle. So here the peduncle is condensed. Got it? And at the base of the flowers all the bracts form a whole. So here at the base of the flowers all bracts got combined, right? Like a whole. So that is why this system we call it as, you know, involucre of bracts. They show the umbel inflorescence show the involucre of bracts. So all bracts form the whole. Example is onion for the simple umbel inflorescence, and the carrot is for the compound umbel inflorescence. Carrot is example of compound umbel inflorescence. Okay. So the compound inflorescence are always arise from the branches, right? Here see the fourth one, head. So in head, unisexual and bisexual sessile flowers develop. What is meant by sessile? Which means the flowers doesn't have stalk. If they have the stalk, we call them as pedicellate flowers, right? If the flowers have the stalk, see. If the flowers having the stalk, we call it as pedicellate flowers, right? We call it as pedicellate flowers. If the flowers doesn't have the pedicel, those flowers we call it as sessile flowers. We call it as sessile flowers. We call it as sessile flowers. Got it? Now see, in head, unisexual and bisexual sessile flowers develop in a centripetal on a condensed peduncle. What is meant by this? What are unisexual and bisexual? Which means unisexual means, so the reproductive parts of male and female flowers in one flower, which means the male flower, this is the male flower, this is the female flower. Okay. Either they are arranged in the one plant or the different positions, or else they are, you know, at the different plants. In the bisexual, not like that. The male, you know, the male and the female parts will be in the one flower only. You say it is a complete flower. The male and female parts are at the one flower. Stamens are the male parts and pistil is the female part of the flower. So in the bisexual flowers, both are in the same flower. But in the unisexual flowers, there is a male flower and female flower. They are either present in the same plant at the different positions or else the same in a separate plants. Okay. Now see, in head, the unisexual and bisexual sessile flowers, which means there is no stalk, develop centripetally. They are developed from the centripetally on a condensed peduncle. Here the peduncle is condensed, right? So here the peduncle is condensed. And now see the arrangement of flowers is called head inflorescence. That arrangement we call it as head inflorescence, which means they are saying the centripetal. What I said in the centripetal, racemose inflorescence exhibiting the acropetal manner and centripetal succession. What is meant by centripetal succession? What is meant by centripetally? Which means the growth, the flowers will open at the periphery first and then the flowers open then center. So the flowers, the opening of the flowers from the periphery region to the central region. So that type of, racemose inflorescence exhibits that when they are in the arrangement of group flowers. Okay. So the best example is the marigold is also one of the example, because here the marigold flower is also first the flowers open from the periphery region to the next, the young ones are open at the middle. Okay. From the periphery region to the center. Got it? Such arrangement of flowers is called head inflorescence. See here, first these flowers are open, then it comes to the middle, which means periphery region to the center. First the flowers which are open in the head inflorescence is periphery region, then it comes to the center part. Okay. So the best examples of this is Tridax procumbens and sunflower are the good examples of the head. Coming to the next one is spike. In spikes the peduncle is so long. The peduncle is long. Here see the peduncle is long and it bears sessile flowers. See here, there is any stalk for these flowers? There is no stalk, which means they don't have pedicel. That is why they are called as sessile flowers. The pedicellate flowers they are having the stalk, right? So there is a long peduncle is there and they are having the sessile flowers and they are arranged in the acropetal manner, which means the young ones are at the top and the old flowers are at the bottom. Alright. So that is the best example is Acanthus is the simple example for the spike inflorescence, and coming to the grass poaceae family for the compound inflorescence. Right. Coming to the last one is spadix. Here see the spadix. In spadix the peduncle is fleshy, which means this is having the moisture content, which means the peduncle is having the flesh. It produces many sessile, which means there is no having the flowers don't have the stalk, and they are bracteate and they are having the bracts. They are having the leaf like structures, what we call bracts, and they are unisexual flowers in an acropetal manner, which means one side they are having the male flowers, another side they are having the female flowers, right? So this is how they are acropetally they are arranged. The down flowers are open and young ones are at the top. So this inflorescence is protected by modified bract. So if, that modified bract we call it as spathe. So see here, in the spathe you can take the good example of Cocos nucifera. What is meant by Cocos nucifera? It is a coconut. It is a coconut. See, in the coconut plant, if you see the arrangement, what you can see like this, right? So here the is combined form this big, wait one, it will be have, and it is having the inflorescence, right? So the brad combined form the spathe. The brad combined form the Got it? So there is the flowers doesn't have pedicel, that is why they are sessile flowers. The good example is Coccus nucifera, and also you can take these examples also, Colocasia in the simple spadix and Coccus in the compound spadix. Okay. So this is about the Racemose inflorescence. So if you have any doubt, please let me know. And this is the simply I explained you all you for your better understanding. So if you have any doubts, please let me know. So this is about the today's session. So let's meet in the tomorrow session. So 1 minute. So 1 minute. So this is about the today's session. Let's meet in the tomorrow session. So before I am winding up the class, how many types are there? The Racemose inflorescence. There are 6 types are there. One is raceme. Next one is 1 minute. Okay. One is raceme. Next one is coriam. Next one is umbel. And fourth one is head. Fifth one is spike. And sixth one is spadix. These are the types you have to write in the examinations with diagrammatic representation. As you are the choice of the biology, the diagrams are very important. Okay. So and also examples are also very important. So as it is the essay question, you have to elaborate your answer. So you know about what is the difference between the racemose and cymose, right? And how the flower is arranged. Flower is a modified shoot. Okay. So once again go through that, go through this class. If you have any doubts, please let me know. So before I am winding up the class, students, I would like to announce very important news from our side. So here we are started the NEET long term program for just rupees 3,333. So for the 11th and 12th, it's a very good, quite good opportunity for you. So while preparing your IPE classes, you can get the coaching from our side. So we are providing affordable price for 3,333. In that we are getting the live class, recorded sessions, well crafted study material is provided for you, and along with that one-on-one mentorship is provided. If you are really passionate to become a doctor and see yourself as a doctor, this is the best platform for you. We are providing both online also and offline also. For offline people, you can happily come to our institute name called NEET World, present in Narayani, Hyderabad. Those who want to go through, join through online, so this is the number here available. Contact with the number, then we'll give you access in our app name called MedWorld. So there you can get access our classes. So you can, there is a one-on-one mentorship will be provided. So if you have any doubt, you can directly ask us. So as we are providing well crafted study material, if you go through recorded and live class sessions and do that well crafted study material, it's quite enough to secure a good rank in the upcoming NEET and EAP set examinations. So don't miss this opportunity. This offer is limited period, so utilize this. Okay, this is what about today's class. Let's meet in the tomorrow class. Thank you.